This is update for August 15, 2022, day 173 of the war, end of the date update. So just want to give you a heads up. I do plan to return to the strategic updates, talking about energy, food, all of that, Ukrainian internal politics, Russian politics. So we'll get back to this, to those topics. I just need a little bit more time to kind of prepare those materials, but they will be coming soon. So for now, let's actually just kind of walk through the front line. We'll just quickly jump right in. So we're going to start from the north in a clockwise fashion, just to confirm the same situation along the state border. No essential differences, just exchange of the all of the sort of negative actions on both sides. Let's put it this way. Now let's move to Kharkiv area. Here, Russian command is trying to attack and capture village Udy here. In the big picture, what it is, they trying to expand the buffer all the way here. So basically, they managed to create buffer in this sort of straight, well, I guess, north of Kharkiv, and they just want to do it like more like northwest of Kharkiv as well. Basically, the point of all of this is to protect Belgorod, the city that's on the Russian side. That's about like 20-30 kilometers from Russian-Ukrainian border, which could be and was target of attacks. So this is the big picture of this. This is nothing major, relatively sort of tactical fighting there for villages. Russian side is claiming that they actually managed to capture village Udy. We don't have confirmation for that, so for now we keep it under Ukrainian control. As soon as we learn and have another confirmation, we'll change the situation. But just so everybody knows, there is sort of dispute in terms of who controls this village at this point. Now let's move south. Let's see what's going on the Izyum bridgehead. So just to kind of like not refresher, but just a reminder, there were attacks from Balaklia. There is nothing, sort of, it's all dead, nothing new there. So apparently they were just distraction attacks. Now let's jump into Izyum bridgehead. There were just two attacks in the same area. This village is Dolina Krasnopilya, Mazanivka, so nothing really new. Ukrainian defenses held here because for the main reason is that there is just simply not enough Russian troops here to create true sort of attack, true offensive, and artillery as well. Now let's look what's going on the North Donbas section of the front line. Things here are not going well for Ukrainian forces in general. Looks like Russian troops managed to capture all of this territory. Essentially, there was nothing with the exception of this village Berestove, which was reduced to rubble in the prior fighting. So this is essentially just sort of open fields, just general territory, but definitely nothing great about it. So at this point, it does look to us that Ukrainian troops lost control of the hill ridge here, so they will be sort of retreating into this valley that's going on here, starting from Bakhmut, and essentially all of this villages, line of villages. It's just essentially some kind of stream valley that's then flowing into Siversky Donetsk, and so it will be difficult, relatively difficult to defend. But it's just kind of slow motion, call it train wreck, that's developing. At this point, Russian troops managed to capture this territory. We'll see what's happened next. However, overall, it wasn't as sort of, there were not as many fierce attacks in this section of the front line, generally speaking. Right, there is not even major attack towards Bakhmut, so it does look to us that Russian troops just simply regrouping, refitting and so on. It's not like anything major, just kind of small tactical pause. We'll see what the sort of next days bring here in this area. Now let's move a little bit more south. So again, here was even quieter, really just attacks towards this village Kadema, and that's pretty much it. There were some minor attack, and it's not even clear, it could be just probing attack towards this village Zalizny here from Horlivka. We didn't go anywhere, and it's still unclear. It was just a sort of distraction action or just reconnaissance action. What it is, we'll find out later, but so far it doesn't look like anything major. Now let's actually move to the area of west of Donetsk. Here things also very the same. No major advances by Russian side. There are new area of attack which we sort of identified before, specifically attacks towards Vugledar, and it happening from sort of all angles, from just straight from south towards north, and then also from east to west. And also we identified that the major driving force behind action here is 155th Naval Infantry Brigade. That's the main sort of attacking force and driving force here. Now let's actually quickly see what's going on near Pisky, just to recap where everything stands at this point. So the Russian troops are controlling this sort of junction, as you can see here, like straight west of Pisky. Based on some information, they actually managed to also gain control of this kind of area inside of this road, this M30 road. So apparently they managed to get to Ukrainian, basically destroy this Ukrainian defenses here, and Ukrainian troops essentially retreated, and probably on the other side of this M30 road. We don't have this firm confirmation, so we just kind of verbally share it, but that's very highly probable situation at this point. If it's not today, that will be probably for sure tomorrow. Russian troops continued their attempt to attack and capture Pervomaisky, so far without success. However, we think the major axis of attack will be at Vodyane and Severna and Tonenke. As we discussed, this creates opportunity to force retreat of Ukrainian troops from Avdiivka, which is the main objective right now. At the same time, attack towards Pervomaisky is also extremely dangerous and promising for the Russian side. At the same, dangerous for Ukrainian side and promising for the Russian side, because what's really happening at this point, Russian troops managed to penetrate main Ukrainian defensive line that has engineered positions. And going forward, it just the Ukrainian side will not have as good defensive position, simply because there is not enough time to basically dig trenches and so on, and create bunkers. Also, there were attacks towards Nevetsky. They didn't go anywhere. Doesn't mean that it's not going to be successful next day. But so this is just kind of where it looks. It looks like Russian side is slowly, opening up the corridor, opening up the opportunity to advance further here in this area. Now let's actually, the rest, then we're just gonna jump quickly at the Zaporizhia front line. Situation here is, as we discussed, the rest of it is quiet. There were some actions towards Velyka Novosilka yesterday, but there were no sort of follow-up continuation of it. So essentially, the area or axis of attack is somewhat shifted. Apparently, Russian troops decided that they want to destroy this stronghold around Vugledar. So far, they were not successful. Generally speaking, in terms of characterizing this 155th Naval Infantry Brigade, we would say that the soldiers are motivated, but it's light infantry, so they, in a way, don't have a sort of strong advantage over Ukrainian forces because it's a light infantry. So that's a weakness in general of the naval infantry brigades and Russian naval infantry brigades and Russian airborne brigades, or just general airborne units. So it's in a way kind of situation where you have motivated soldiers, but then you don't have enough equipment. So kind of somewhat similar to Ukrainian overall situation. Now let's jump to Kherson bridgehead and see what's going on here. So as we mentioned before, most of the bridges are in pretty bad shape. The only sort of viable and still functioning bridge is not even bridge, it's a road over a dam and then small bridge in Nova Kakhovka. It's still being actively targeted. Ukrainian troops actually attacked. It's just actually we don't see it, destroyed Russian ammunition depot near Jankoy. This is a large railroad junction in Crimea. But as we discussed, it does not have major and lasting effect on Russian troops. They also figure out how to, decentralize and so on. So this is not, while these attacks continue, we don't think that they're going to lead to anything, to any sort of successful outcome, let's put this way. We still don't understand the situation with the railroad bridge here in Kherson near Antonievsky Bridge. Unclear if it's sort of fully functioning, somewhat damaged, or damaged and was repaired. So that's still something under question. But overall, we would say that at this point, Russian command lost initiative on Kherson bridgehead, not because Ukrainian command is such a great sort of command and great thinkers and so on, and Ukrainian troops are sort of really better than the Russian troops in terms of their preparedness, in terms of their equipment. It's more because of the destruction of the logistics and because of the equipment, HIMARS systems from the US, UK, Germany. So that's what that equipment. That's what created this sort of took away basically initiative from the Russian command. Not really the action of Ukrainian command. And that's what actually Ukrainian side is hoping for, is to get more equipment and sort of win the war by exceeding sort of strength through equipment, not by actually strength through the quality of the command, quality of the training, and so on. And that's, we think, is very delusional thinking in terms of how to fight the war. But for now, this created somewhat some initiative for Ukrainian side, and Russian command has lost initiative here, and essentially is on defensive and will be more and more so here as their supply situation worsens, as Ukrainian troops continue, Ukrainian command continues attacking all of these bridges. And as we discussed, pontoon bridges and ferries, they definitely no match, and giving the high volume, large volume of ammunition that needs to be transferred to support the troops, because as we discussed before, Russian troops rely on quantity for artillery shelling, so they consume a lot of ammunition. So that really means you really need to supply a lot, and then the best way to do that is through railroads. So that's why it's still unclear to us, and it's very important. We're trying to find out situation with the railroad bridges, because they actually, to extent, more important for Russian troops than actual just regular road bridges. That's it for today. Thanks for watching, and until tomorrow, bye bye.